Bureaucrats can make or break countries. They can be nimble and innovative or slow and hindering. In India, it's often been considered the second. Not all bureaucrats, of course, but the institution in general. It's often seen as rigid and old-fashioned. So the government has been pushing a solution: lateral entries. Normally, the central bureaucracy is made up of career civil servants, basically your IAS officers, but lateral entrants are outsiders, maybe from the private sector or from public sector companies, or maybe even research institutes. And the idea is quite simple. These outsiders bring in a lot of experience and domain knowledge, something that career bureaucrats may lack. The first such appointment was made in 2018, and since then 63 lateral appointments have been made. But why are we talking about it now? Because another round is coming up. The UPSC has issued an advertisement. That's the Union Public Service Commission, UPSC. They recruit officers to all bureaucratic positions. Their latest ad is for 45 roles, those of joint secretaries, directors, and deputy secretaries. 45 such roles in 24 ministries. Now, just to give you an idea, a joint secretary is the third highest rank in a department. So these are not paper pushers, these are decision-making roles. The hope is that these lateral entrants will bring fresh ideas. But it's not a done deal yet, because the opposition is against this policy. They have called it an attack on Dalits, OBCs and Adivasis. Again, explanations are in order. Normally, UPSC recruitments are subject to reservation. Seats are reserved for certain groups, like 27% for OBCs and 15% for scheduled castes. But not in lateral appointments. There is no quota in this system. So the appointment is purely based on merit. And why is that? Because technically, this is not a mass recruitment. Yes, 45 jobs are up for grabs, but each role has been advertised separately. Hence, quotas do not apply. Now, the opposition's criticism may not worry the government, but some of its own allies are unhappy too. Like Chirag Paswan of the Lok Janashakti Party, he's called it a completely wrong decision, and he plans to take it up with the government. So, are these objections purely political? To answer that, let's first focus on the idea: what are the pros and cons of lateral entry? Two advantages clearly stand out. First is manpower. The central government needs more than 1,400 IAS officers. They need more than 1,400 officers. That is the required strength. And how many do they actually have? 442. So there is a massive shortage of manpower, and lateral entries could solve that. That's the first advantage. Advantage number two, expertise and experience. Just consider the Department of Telecommunications. It requires a lot of domain knowledge. Professionals will have that. Academics or researchers will have that. But a career bureaucrat may not. And this is not a complaint, it is a fact. Professionals have spent decades studying these issues, so naturally they will bring more to the table. Which brings us to the cons. The obvious one is bias. A normal recruitment drive is based on marks and interviews. But lateral entries can be influenced. You can put your allies in top positions, or worse, your family members. So that is one drawback. Secondly, it could be a cultural shock. Government secretariats work in a certain way which is very different from companies, so professionals may not be able to adjust. Some experts also think that there could be resentment. Career bureaucrats work for decades to reach a position, but a lateral entry may just swoop in, which could lead to friction. Now, these are the technical arguments for and against the system. Of course, the political argument is much bigger, but that's no reason to abandon the entire idea. A lot of countries, in fact, already use the system, like the US, Germany, France, South Korea. Their governments appoint senior bureaucrats and agency heads. But there's a catch here. When the governments change, so do the bureaucrats. So India will have to find a balance. There must be transparency, there must be strong checks, and maybe a wider discussion. We say it's a good idea that needs refinement.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
we go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can we expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
We start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. For the first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Aaron Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C.